In Portland, Oregon, on November 25th, a rally was underway, as were many more around the country, in solidarity to protest the grand jury decision in Ferguson, Missouri. It was a heated event filled with hate and anger towards police officers. In the middle of the crowd stood 12-year-old Devonte Hart, a young African-American boy with tears streaming down his face. Around his neck, he wore a sign offering free hugs. A photographer watched as Brett Barnum, a white Portland police officer working to keep the peace at the protest, walked up to the young man and asked if he could have one. The touching image of the two hugging went viral in a matter of hours. After the hug, the two went their separate ways, Devonte to protest and Barnum back to his police work. This image of a simple hug has spread hope to millions of people in a time of great anger and upheaval. A hug is a small act, but it can have very powerful consequences mentally, emotionally, and physically. A study of parental acceptance and rejection done in 1938 showed that children who grow up receiving love and affection have every chance to develop into well-balanced, emotionally stable adults, while children who are rejected, even in subtle ways such as insincere affection, are destined on average to show strong aggressive traits, be hostile, and antagonistic. A simple hug can help steer a child towards becoming a loving and caring adult. And if you had any doubt about the importance of touch, consider that children who aren't hugged have delays in walking, talking, and reading. Withholding hugs and affection can teach a child that it is not okay to be loving and share your emotions. Did you know that hugs can benefit you physically? In 1995, an image of two newborn girls went viral. The picture shows the baby on the right with her arm around the baby on the left. While the picture is adorable, it is the story behind it that captures the power of a hug. Twin girls Brielle and Kyrie were born 12 weeks premature on October 17, 2005. Kyrie weighed 2 pounds 3 ounces, while Brielle weighed only 2 pounds. They were placed in separate incubators in the NICU. Kylie thrived, but Brielle struggled to survive. On November 12th, Brielle took a turn for the worse. Her heart rate dropped and she began to turn a deadly shade of blue. She was not responding to medical assistance, and all in the room thought that she would die. One of the nurses suddenly recalled a procedure often used in Europe that puts both babies in the same bed. They put Brielle in with her sister to see if it would work. Immediately, Brielle snuggled up to Kyrie, her heart rate slowed, and her breathing calmed. Kyrie put her arm around her sister, and they stayed like that until Brielle returned to normal. Brielle began to thrive, and both girls were able to go home with their parents, healthy. Hugs have been shown to lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and raise oxytocin levels. Oxytocin decreases the level of stress hormone, primarily cortisol, that our body manufactures, and lowers blood pressure response to anxiety-producing events. Oxytocin likely plays a role in why pet owners heal more quickly from illness, why couples live longer than singles, and why support groups work for people with addictions and chronic diseases. Oxytocin also has been found to reduce the cravings of drug and alcohol addiction, as well as for sweets. It even has a positive influence on inflammation and wound healing. Research published in the journal Psychological Science revealed that hugs and touch can significantly reduce worry. Lead researcher Sandra Kuhl wrote in the study, "Interpersonal touch is such a powerful mechanism that even objects that simulate touch by another person may help to instill in people a sense of existential significance. Even hugging a pillow or stuffed animal can increase your mood and reduce your stress." In the fast-paced world we live in, we can all benefit from reduced stress, and it is vital to form bonds with our loved ones, even if we only have a minute. Sit back for a minute and think about how a child behaves. Children give hugs freely. They do not care who you are, what you look like, or even what you're going to think about them if they hug you. As we get older, we lose that ability when it is probably most important. According to researchers at Ohio State University, hugging and physical touch becomes increasingly important with age. University psychologist Janice Skycolt-Glaser told USA Today, "The older you are, the more fragile you are physically. So contact becomes increasingly important for good health. Our spouse needs our hugs. Our children need our hugs, and our friends need our hugs." Psychotherapist Virginia Satter has said, "We need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. We need 12 hugs a day for growth. One study found that 1/3 of people receive no hugs on a daily basis, while 75% said they wanted more hugs. So, how are you going to change that and positively affect the lives of those around you? Start off easy. Hug your spouse and your children. Not one of us would want our spouse or our children to think that we do not love them or care about them. But sometimes not giving a hug can speak those words. All too often, we get too busy and forget to look outside ourselves to notice that our loved ones are struggling. As a parent or a spouse, how many times have you had a bad day and just wish your spouse or your child would stop and give you a hug? You don't want them to solve your problems or listen to you talk for hours, just a hug to show that they care. With your simple hug, you have the ability to show them you love them. You can reduce their stress, all while forming a lasting bond with them. So think about those that you love. Do you want to impact their lives for the better? Give them a hug. When your spouse comes home tonight, give them a hug. When you put your kids to bed tonight, give them a hug. When they wake up in the morning, give them a hug. Hug them when they leave and when they come home. Let a hug be the first thing that greets them. Get up and hug your mom and dad. Hug your brothers and sisters. Now you might be saying to yourself, they are going to think I'm crazy if I hug them for no reason. And they might. But maybe now is the perfect time to change that. Giving hugs is a great family tradition that you can start today. Think of the lasting effect that your hug can have on those you love. Get over your doubts and make hugs a part of your everyday life.